Hi, this is Alena and I'm so glad that you joined me for the second video in a 4-part series on the basic barbell movements. This video is about the squat and how to squat properly. I've broken it down into 3 basic steps with multiple cues in each step, and I've got some video content to show you guys so you don't just have to sit here and watch me talk. But real quick, a note on the squat. It was actually the first compound movement that I ever learned how to do. I was in 11th grade at South Carroll High School. I've been an athlete my whole entire life and got introduced to the barbell and to lifting, and honestly I fell in love with it, not only because it made me feel really good, but it helped me keep my body the way I wanted and made me, faster, stronger, all those kind of things. And I wanted to be able to pass along this information to you. I believe what's been given freely to me, I want to freely give. So whether you're coming from the mental health community that I get to work with, the health, functional health community, the faith community, or the fitness community, if you know Brian and I from fitness content on YouTube, I'm super glad you're here. And I know there's a million wonderful squat videos out there, so I'm really humbled that you chose to watch mine. I hope I can keep it interesting, make complicated things very simple, and help you apply this to everyday life. So thank you so much for joining me. One thing I do want to say about the importance of strength training, if you're questioning like why does this even matter, I just want to help you understand that you are in the right place. Strength training builds skeletal muscle, and skeletal muscle is an endocrine organ. It has a direct impact on all of the systems in the body, but the most important ones I'd love to mention real fast, and then I'll do a separate video about this, is your metabolic function and your body's ability to be resistant to glucose, helping keep your risk for diabetes way down. It helps neural hormone production, it helps your mood, your cognitive function, helps memory, coordination. It also can help improve sleep. There's so many amazing benefits to building skeletal muscle in the body, but most of all, I just wanted to say it helps you feel amazing, and it helps you enjoy a higher quality of life. Just speaking from the last 18 years when I haven't had it as a part of my life as a daily, like a routine, not even daily routine, but I'd say 3 to 4 times a week consistently I'm involved in it. It doesn't even take that long. It doesn't need to be like hours and hours at the gym. It literally probably takes up only 4 hours out of my week to dedicate to a rhythm like this. It just improves your quality of life. So I've had that wonderful experience and gift, and I just want to share that with you. So I'm very excited to be able to break this down for you in a way that hopefully could help somebody be able to feel more confident when it comes to the squat. Okay, so the first step when you go to begin to squat is the setup. Now, if you watch my deadlift video, I talked a lot about our approach and how we approach the bar. Same thing here. Your setup is just as important as the entire lift. So how you walk into the situation is going to matter. Now, I've already looked at some of the benefits of building muscle, so you know why you're here. But the interesting thing about the squat is you can't see the bar when it's on your back, and I never work with mirrors. So I really like being able to get in tune with the bar. So with that said, you step under the bar and you place your hands on the bar about shoulder width apart. You lean under, get your head under there, and you place the bar on top of your upper back. Now, what you want to make sure of is that bar is sitting on top of kind of the muscle part of your back. Now, some of you who are beginning might not have upper back muscle, and that is totally okay. Just do not put the bar on your bone. The last thing you want is the bar to be sitting on one of your vertebrae, and that is super painful, so you'll move it pretty quickly. This may feel awkward at first, but it's okay. You'll get a lot more used to it. Now, in another video, I can talk about high bar versus low bar, but I do not want that to become an area of complication right now. So for me, I put that bar kind of high up on my upper back, but again, not on my neck, not on my vertebrae. I slide my hands in as close as I possibly can. And what this does is it creates like a shelf on your back, really, where you're supporting that bar. You're getting nice and strong underneath the bar. You do not, one thing to mention is you don't have your elbows out like a bird. Some people you'll see learning how to squat, again, new learners, our elbows are out really high and wide. And for the purposes of today, you're gonna slide your hands in real close, creating a shelf with your upper back, and you're gonna lean your elbows down so your elbows are pointed straight down to the ground. And what this is gonna do is going to help really keep everything tight and compact, which is going to protect your back. It's going to make the lift feel a lot easier. And this is how I've been squatting for a long time. I actually trained a couple sessions with a world-class powerlifter who is incredible. Her name is Susie Hartwig, and she taught me this setup, and I'm telling you, it makes sense why she's so successful. She's shorter than me, and she taught me if you can do these things well, you're going to be an incredible squatter. And to be honest, it really changed the game for me with squatting. I felt so much more confident. So I'm just passing this information along to you. So in quick review, what you're going to do is you're going to get your head underneath that bar, slide your hands in as close as they possibly can. Now squeeze the bar. The reason that you're doing this is the body works synergistically. As you're squeezing the bar, the rest of your body is going to get nice and tight, and you're going to become stronger just by this small, simple motion. I know it sounds crazy, but it works every time. Then you're going to point your elbows down to the ground, creating a shelf with your upper back. Your chest is nice and high, and your body is elevated. Then the last thing you want to make sure you do is breathe and brace. Take that nice deep belly breath, abs, filling your lungs with air, and then you tighten. And then we'll get back to part 2. Welcome back for step number 2 for the squat. Now, what you're gonna do now is get into a ready position. Just like with the deadlift, your body needs to become poised for exactly what you're gonna do next. Now, what you wanna do is after you get that nice deep belly breath, remember, you've got to protect your spine. The squat is a core movement, really. A lot of people think, yes, this is for my legs, and yes, it is, but if your body can hold weight, if your core can hold that weight up on your back safely and go up and down, your core is incredibly strong. So that is one of the biggest things you want to keep in mind. It's my core. So make sure you get a nice deep belly breath where you're inhaling like a puppy or a baby, a diaphragmatic breath. You're using your diaphragm and filling your lungs with air, creating a really tight outer shell on your body. I wanted to review that brace. So now that you've got that brace, beginning step 2, you unrack the bar, and then you take 2.5 steps out. So foot 1, 2, and then slide the other foot in. Now, a lot of times this is kind of hard to get down to a science in the beginning when you're squatting, but after a while you want to settle into movement 1 with your first foot, movement 2 with your second, and you're sliding them into place. And you're gonna end about shoulder width apart. Some people squat really wide. I used to be one of those people, but the longer I've squatted, the closer my feet have come in. My feet are tilted out just a little bit, so that it makes it a lot easier for my knees and my legs to track when I go on to the next step. So after you've stepped back and gotten your feet into a shoulder width position with your toes pointed out just a little bit, you're gonna make sure that your body is in the correct position. So just like you did when you unrack the bar, your chest needs to be high, just like in that Superman position. And the reason for this is a lot of times what you'll see in lifters is the bar really crushing them so that their back is beginning to round. This is not a good ready position to do the movement that you need to do. So your shoulders need to be back, your elbows are down, your chest is high, and your abs are tight. So you get that nice deep breath again. You breathe and brace. And then another cue here that I learned later in life was tighten your butt. Now, if you've got muscle, the butt is a muscle, so if you've got some muscle back there, tense it. And what you'll find it does is it really tightens everything, and it keeps your posterior chain nice and strong as you go to deliberately do that next step with the squat. So in quick review, step 2, unrack the bar, take 2.5 steps back, 1, 2, feet about shoulder width apart, toes pointed out to your sides. Then what you're gonna do is kind of reset where you got your chest up high, shoulders are back, your back's in that nice shelf position. You take a deep breath, breathe and brace one more time, abs are nice and tight and strong, then you tighten your butt. Okay, now you're ready for step 3. All right, step 3. This is what I like to call the execution or the engagement stage. This is the fun part of the squat. It's when you get to go. So everything's nice and tight, you've got that bar, you're holding it, you're squeezing it strong. Now, one thing I want you to remember, your head needs to stay neutral. A lot of times people will put their head up or head down with the squat. And again, just like the deadlift, that type of motion is not great for your neck. So what you want to do is keep your eyes level. I like to say look about 8 feet in front of you, kind of tilt your head down just a little bit, tuck your chin under. That keeps your spine really aligned, and it just keeps you a lot more stable when you go to squat. So head's in that neutral position, you begin the descend. What you want to do is sit down like you're sitting in a little bit of a lower chair. And what you want to do is you want to find your knees staying behind your toes and your hips going below your knees, a little bit below that parallel point. And for some of you, this may feel a little awkward. You may feel off balance. You may be, falling. Some people will fall a little bit forward, get a little bit unbalanced. Some people get a little off balance and moving back. So if you're not ready to put a bar in your back with this movement, it's okay. You can practice it without a bar. But the important thing is that you understand that the whole idea here is that that chest stays nice and high, your abs stay tight, your hips go below your knees, not too far down to the ground where you're hitting your butt to the ground, and you don't want to be cheating yourself of a rep and staying above parallel. So you want to make sure that you do drop below that point. And the reason here is I learned that, you know, some people say, oh, your knees, this is going to hurt your knees. Well, that's not true, because what happens is as you drop below your knees, your hamstrings and your glutes really engage to propel you up. So you're using a lot more muscles in your body in this stage. So think about that as you're going down. So in order to initiate your glutes and your hamstrings, you've got to get below that parallel point. Now, this all happens in phases, right? And we're all on a continuum. Everybody's body's a little bit different. So as you're learning, give yourself a lot of grace, but eventually you do want to get to that place, or you go a little bit below parallel. And then what happens is you initiate the movement up. You push your feet through the ground. You kind of press your knees out, because a lot of times what will happen on the squat is knees want to buckle in, and we want to prevent that. So you want to press your knees out and raise your body up as quickly as you possibly can. And then you want to get those hips through. This is a great part here that helps finish the squat in a way where you're not falling forward. As you initiate your hips and the power your hips have to come through, that's when you're going to be able to propel you up and stay upright. Then at the top of the lift, you're going to pause and then re-rack the bar. One of the things I like to think about on the way up from the squat is this is not easy, right? Squatting is hard. And so you want to think about this, that it's not going to be the easiest thing you've ever done, and it's going to be uncomfortable. But if you keep your abs nice and strong, you get your hips through, you push your knees out, you get your hips through. And all at the same time, you're keeping your head neutral and your chest high. This is going to go really well for you, and you're going to see so much improvement so quickly. So I know that's a lot in a nutshell, but I just wanted to get you started on beginning with the barbell squat. I'll have lots of videos about all kinds of different things with the squat, but this should really help you get started. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them down below. I'd be super happy to answer them for you. I'm just so glad that we got an opportunity to talk about squat today. My hope is that anybody could be able to do this. And remember, you don't need to start with a barbell. You can get a piece of PVC pipe, or you can just do it without any weight and just start practicing that motion with all of the different cues and practice that pathway. Your body will begin to learn it. So I'm so excited for you to get started, and thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this can help equip and encourage you to go out and do amazing things. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Bye.